As you get home from your mundane 9 to 5, you decide to head straight to sleep today. It was rough, but tomorrow should be better. As you slip into the world of dreams, you start falling. You awake in a room filled with a blinding light, and your eyes lock to those of an entity across the room. His mouth doesn't move, but you can hear words.
Gaze into the crimson river and answer the question carved upon the marble slab.
Your eyes switch from the entities to the side, and all of a sudden you see a river running with a crimson liquid, and floating in one place, a slab with words carved roughly into its surface. Can you survive? You look back. The entity is gone, but those words linger. Can you survive? And that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're going to see if we were teleported to random Gary's mod worlds, would we be able to survive? But before we do that, we need to talk about a few things. So first, let's talk about survival. Even if you don't think about it, survival is something that you are working towards every single day. Whether it's working to pay rent, buying groceries, or simply drinking a glass of water, everyone is working towards survival. It's simply just in our nature. So along with survival simply just being in our nature, you also need a few things to survive. For you, my young, sick, wicked gamers, you need a couple things. One, the first thing that you're gonna need is water. That is the most important thing for human survival. Along with that, you will need food as well as shelter. Those three things are the simple bare bones to human survival. And with taking those three things into account, I will be ranking all of these maps that we are going to be exploring today on a simple scale. 1 being a tier list, and then giving them a number between 1 and 10. Now, the actual final thing before we get into the meat and potatoes of exploring these maps is 1, I'm going to be distributing bonus points depending on if the map has items/things that could be seen as a luxury, whether that's comfort, electricity, entertainment, whatever it may be. And also to just keep the video a little bit more interesting, I'm going to be giving ourselves a fishing rod add-on. This will make survival a lot more easier on certain maps. So with that out of the way, let's get on to the first map. Now for this first map, you know we had to start with the absolute classic GM_construct. Now, the moment that I loaded into this map, I was not hopeful at all. But with everything that I found, I was totally shocked with how well this map actually works for survival. First thing that I want to point out is the fact that food is going to be abundant here, considering there is a huge lake just in the middle of the map, assuming there's fish in it, of course. That also means that water is very obtainable as long as we figure out a solution to boil anything that could harm us that's in the water. There's also a lot of open area for us to exercise and run around in, so that way we can stay a little bit more fit. And now the real piece de resistance that this map does give us is shelter. There's so many choices for shelter in this map. There's 3 apartment complexes, one that has like a garage type thing attached to it, and an entire warehouse. But I wouldn't choose the warehouse as my first option, considering there's the creepy dark room. But overall, this is a great start to this video and a great start for the maps. I'm giving this an A with a solid 7 out of 10. Now, the next map that I want to talk about is another absolute classic of gmod, that being GM_flatgrass. Now, we had a really solid start with this video with Construct. That map blew my mind of actually how much there was to survive with, but the same cannot be said for flatgrass. Flatgrass has legitimately nothing to survive, nothing for you to last. It is literally just one building that doesn't really provide great shelter and just miles and miles of grass. There's no water to fish, there's no water to drink and even purify. You have nothing, which is why I sadly have to give GM_flatgrass a 0 and the first F tier of the video. So now that we have the basic maps out of the way, we can finally start heading towards the add-on maps. Now, an interest that I have with Gary's mod is I love downloading maps and just exploring them. I can legitimately sit there for hours just fine picking a map that seems interesting and exploring every detail about it inside and out. So, with the first add-on map, we're going to introduce you to GM_2 houses. And even though this is only the first map that we have seen from the add-ons, this is already the perfect map. The thing that I'm going to start with first is shelter, and oh my god is there an abundance of it. So first, what you have on the map is you spawn in front of these two houses, as the map name says. They are exactly mirrored copies of the house, and walking in, first it seems like you have electricity, so it already gets a bonus point. Not only that, there's appliances to cook with, and as well there's bookshelves, so you already have entertainment. Also, by going up into the attic of a house, there is a VHS player up there. So if you're able to get your hands on VHS tapes and well a TV, then you have plenty of entertainment that will last. There's also a laptop, but I can't guarantee that it could work because we can't see the screen. Now this house has a lot of positives to it. Another one being that it is one of the closest to your food source, but it does have a downside. It's not huge, but there is a pretty creepy PDF basement if you kind of catch my drift. But overall, for the first thing of shelter, this is great. The next spot in this house that you could call base camp would be the actual food source, which is also close to your secondary food source as well, being the 7-Eleven. As I said when introducing the 7-Eleven, it is actually closest to your secondary food source, that being the lake. And since we have a fishing rod, thank you Gary's mod add-on, you have infinite fish, in quotation marks, as long as you don't overfish. That is assuming, like with the construct one, that there is fish. So the 7-Eleven is an absolute solid choice for shelter. There is a couple downsides though. Unlike with the two houses, you actually sacrifice a lot of comfort here for convenience. Overall, you have all of your food, toiletries, water, snacks, entertainment really here because there's a lot of magazines, but you have basically no comfort unless you move every piece of furniture that you deem comfortable from the two houses here, which is just a big hassle that I wouldn't personally want to go through. But even with these downsides, there's really not much to talk about this map that is wrong. So with that being said, I give this an 11 out of 10 because of the bonus points and the first S tier of the video. On to the next map, which is a quick hop, skip, and a jump to the workshop. I want to talk about a very atmospheric map, that being GM_Green Hell. This map is absolutely beautiful. The lush brush, the thick and sprawling trees, and also it has a slight apocalyptic vibe to it, which would be great for scenes for an apocalyptic themed SFM animation. But other than the vibe it has and the absolute pretty textures, it doesn't have much to it. From what I could find, there was no water or food source on this map, and the shelter is very mediocre. It's all run down, it's all broken up. And that's why, sadly, I have to give it an F and also a 1. Only reason it's a little bit higher than Flatgrass is just because even though the shelter is broken up and mediocre, it still offers better protection than what Flatgrass could ever give us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the last two maps of the video. The first map that I want to talk about is a classic in the actual world. I want to talk about Taco Bell in the Plains. This map, just like two houses before it, is absolutely amazing. It has everything that you could really need or want for surviving. Considering that you're in a Taco Bell in a actually seemingly populated area, you have food. Not only that, you also have access to soft drinks and water. You have not much for entertainment, but that's okay. You still have the drive-through camera, which you can get up to some shenanigans. Assuming this is a actual working Taco Bell, you can mess with the employees, the customers, whatever it may be, as long as you don't get kicked out, you're fine. As well with that, it has electricity and an outside heater, so you got a pretty chill spot to rest in. And so with that, I'm gonna have to give GM underscore Taco Bell in the Plains a 12 out of 10 and an S tier. This next map that I have for you guys is going to be a special one. It is a campaign and a 2-in-1 special. I present to you Liminal 01 and Liminal 02. I'm gonna kind of give my analyzation as we go along. I'll be pointing out food, water, anything that you might be able to survive in. All right, let's get it started. A fun little fact about me is that I absolutely love anything liminal. Ooh. Okay, found a baby. Collected the horror baby. So that's the collectibles. So first of all, water. As long as it's sterile, we can so survive with that. And there is some sort of plant. Ooh, that's a. It was in self-defense. He shot first. Well, the banana, that's technically food. Oh, vending machine. That's food. That's food. We can survive. Vending machine and Mountain Dew. Forgetful water. No, but these are soda machines. Just break into them. God, soldiers. Wait, hold on a second. Let's see if can we go back? I think I'm onto something though. Wise. No, anything but boring. God, that was so scary. That was so scary. All right, gotta book it again. What the? Dude! Natural way of going. Yeah, okay. History. Oh, electric plug. Which actually, that makes sense. There's electricity. God, I'm so bad. I'm panic gaming. Oh, die, perish by 1,000 breaths. Like, dude, not cool. All right, I guess we'll go to the blue one now. Oh, shoot, these are rebels. Shoot. Ooh, you guys are dangerous. If we could just find like a peaceful apartment that we could take refuge in, it would be perfect. If nothing jump scares us here, we might have our spot.
A few moments later.
Oh yeah, no, this place, yep. My mic's been muted this entire time, dude. Oh, that's so sad. They can't just throw me into a dark room to face the ant lions. Oh, that's big ol' ant lion, big ol' ant lion.
Big bird.
Okay, we're getting nuked. There's nowhere for me to go, is there? Nope. I'm cooked. So I think we're on like some sort of combine base. Oh. Oh my god! Some of those were very expensive. I knew it. I knew it. Burn, burn, burn. I knew it. Don't ever trust the combine bodies. I'll take it that this is... Yeah, okay. Ooh. Cooler. Yeah! This one's... it's just the beginning. So maybe we'll find food down the line, but so far... Found nothing to drink, nothing to eat yet. I mean, we fell in water, but like that was elevator shaft water. I don't think you're gonna really want to eat or drink that. We did find a drink machine. Stockpile, boom, you're good. Huh. That one was really easy to do. It was good though. That was like some good map design, I think. I don't know. Let's see, as for the ratings, so liminal 1 and liminal 2, liminal 1 I'm gonna have to give a solid 6 out of 10 C tier. Just because of the fact that like there was food, there was water, there was a snack and a drink machine that like if broken into could supply, you know, enough for you to survive for a good little bit. But the fact that there's really no safe spot, that like enemies were just spawning in out of nowhere, I think that just docks most of the points. Yeah, overall liminal 1 C tier, 6 out of 10. Liminal 2 though, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. Yeah. I'm gonna make it a 2 out of 10, bringing it to a like D tier. I think that's safe because there is technically shelter that you're not exposed to the weather elements, and you have drinks, like you have a liquid, so you're not gonna be like starving, like, or you're not gonna be dehydrated, but there's no food, so you're starving to death 100%. And with those out of the way now, we have reached the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry for being on hiatus for a little bit. Some things happened and just me being lazy, I'm gonna be honest, but I hope to be getting you guys more videos out sooner rather than later. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe. I would very much appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.